Shalom. I want to begin a lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakurash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. I want to come at y'all with the lesson real quick. And Lord willing, this lesson be edifying to those out there listening and watching. Just want to talk about something that happened yesterday in the news, and then also just want to highlight some things as well in the news that's going on, man. I do want to say this first and foremost. I was talking to my pops about this the other day. I want to say Jake is concerned with the folly of this world, right? They're only concerned with the things of this world, the distractions that come with it, man. And I said it because there's a lot of stuff going on right now in my school because we got homecoming and whatnot. So people, they live in their own world, man. Parties and whatnot, things of that nature. And I could just say this right now. I've never been the type of person that really enjoyed parties and stuff like that. Of course, I've been to them here and there. But even parties at clubs, it never was my thing. But as it says, though, this is just, it's things that go on that just lines up with the scripture so perfectly. Right? When you come into this thing, you know what I'm saying, you don't do the same things that you once did. So people will look at you a certain type of way, or, you know what I'm saying, be upset with you and whatnot because you don't do the same things that you used to do. And I can be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I did have fun going to those parties and stuff like that. But I could just say now I'm in a point in my life where this shit has become repetitive, and it just isn't enjoyable to me no more. I can't truly say that the mirth of the land is gone. Definitely here in Babylon the Great. Me and the brother talk about that all the time. Like, even trying to get on the game, it don't hit like it used to, as we would say. It's not enjoyable. It's not fun no more. It's not to say I don't like having a good time and going out and stuff like that, but I don't need that type of stuff to, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that type of stuff consistently or even ever again, really, for that matter, to have fun, you know. But this the book of Matthew 24 and 37. This is where it lines up at. Because as we say, man, there's things going on in the world right now. And I'm going to go over some of the big things that's been happening in the news right now. Just came over. That people don't have no awareness of or knowledge of at all because they live in their own world. And that's the type of shit that's going to get Jake fucked up. That's why it's important to stay vigilant and be aware of what's going on around you, because we are indeed at the end, man. This is the last stretch. The book of Matthew 24 and 37. But as the days of Noe were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noe entered into the ark, and they knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? You know, I seen a video the other day of our elder apostle, Gabar, speaking on this, man, that the Lord is getting ready to seal that spiritual ark very soon, if it hasn't been sealed already. And this isn't going to be any turning around from there, man. So we're still under the grace period, but there's no telling how much longer that's going to continue. So, hey, just be mindful of that, man. You know, the days are shortened, and we don't have much more time left. It's not time to be slacking off and stuff like that, you know. It's time to be on your P's and Q's. And NLT, then I'll go ahead and get on with the lesson. When the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in Noah's day. In those days before the flood, the people were enjoying banquets and parties and weddings right up to the time Noah entered his boat. People didn't realize what was going on. People didn't realize what was going to happen until the flood came and swept them all away. That is the way it will be when the Son of Man comes. So when Yahweh Shah comes back, you know what I'm saying? When these things start going to pop off and stuff like that, the things that we've been prophesying and telling the folks about for the longest of times, when they actually start to come to pass, people's reactions are going to be off the wall, man. Right? It's going to be off the wall. But it's not going to be any surprise to us because we, you know what I'm saying, we told you all these things are going to happen, right? The prophets of old have told y'all time and time again. The Lord have sent us to warn the people. Jeremiah 28:7, it says, nevertheless, let me get verse 6. Even the prophet Jeremiah said, Aman, Yahweh do so, Yahweh perform thy words which thou hast prophesied, to bring again the vessels of Yahweh's house and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him. The true prophets of the Lord are the men of great millstone and those who are affiliated, such as myself and other brothers. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if we're of the hopeful elect. We don't know if we're of the elect yet. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we be at that number, the 144,000. But it's safe to say that we are the messengers of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah, man, through the Spirit. And as you all know, the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. So we've been prophesying these downfall of kingdoms, stuff like that. Hold on, Salak. You know, the prophets, Salak, we've been prophesying against the downfall, the collapse of this society, the collapse of this kingdom and whatnot. But as Jake has the Lord have put a severe spirit of blindness upon Jake. And, you know, you always have to remember, man, I have to tell myself this sometimes, that the 2/3 does outnumber the 1/3 significantly, because it is a lot of us. So a lot of these people legit don't have a clue about what's about to happen. Let me see. The book of 1 Corinthians 7:29, Salaki. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that they have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoiced not, and they that buy as though they possessed not. Here's my point. And they that use this world is not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. You got to be okay with letting go of the things of this world or this life, because very soon it's not going to be here no more. And a lot of us brothers are really okay with that. I don't want to say a lot. All of us, we're okay with just getting up and leaving this shit up behind. We don't even like this or enjoy this life in the first place. This is not our rest. So as we're here right now, we've been called to work. The 2/3, the wicked, they having they joy right now. You know what I'm saying? we're in the wicked kingdom, so it's meant for them to prosper and stuff like that, and have fun and all that other shit. But us, it's not meant for us, man. We're the outcasts of this society, and as the elder brother, Amwan Gabar was just saying in his lesson that I watched a minute ago, uh, a lot of us are about to start getting persecuted soon, right? They already know who he is and who they targets is. I'm talking about the government. That AI shit is getting scary, man. They gonna use that as a tool, you know what I'm saying, to incriminate brothers. And I 100% believe that, because you even have regular civilians saying shit like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article, man. Let me look into this real quick though. So like, just some of the things that kind of stuck out to me. I'm good. Russia's market collapsed after Putin's chilling message. I have to look into that. The elder Malcolm was doing a lesson earlier today as well, or that might have been yesterday. I had to watch that. But he was talking about how it was something with Trump and the government about his presidency, a kingdomship. No survivors found after a massive blast as a Tennessee explosives plant left 18 people missing, which they're dead now. Trump administration lays off dozens of CDC officials. White House is firing more than 4,000 federal workers as government shutdown drags on. We're going on, week 2 now? Trump announced additional 100% tariffs on China imports. 4 dead, 12 injured in Mississippi shooting. It's been a string of big earthquakes, at least 5 dead and 7.4 magnitude earthquake. One of them was off the coast of South America. Yeah, this one was in the Philippines. So one was off the coast of South America, one was in the Philippines. The Philippines been getting hit with some shit. Let's see. Tsunami threat after powerful 7.6 magnitude earthquake strikes off the Americas. Remember, man, and these aren't 7.6, 7.4, 7.8. Like, that shit is like record number. That's not normal at all. Yeah, this is off the coast of South America. Issue for Chile. Those are two places, you know what I'm saying, where Jake dwells. Through the spirit, we believe that a lot of those Philippines, or at least some of them over there, are Jakes. They the darker Asians, as I like to call them. Middle school teacher jailed for raping a student, and he got deleted in prison by his murderer cellmate. And that's just judgment right there. So that's just a few things in the news. Now we get to the main point. Israel caught firing at Palestinian civilians immediately after ceasefire announcement. As a brother have always told me, man, America, or you could just say Edom in general, have been known. They broke 500 treaties with the Native Americans, right? 500. So the fact that, of course, we already knew that this shit was going to happen. Whenever they said they was going to have a ceasefire, we knew that they weren't going to stop. That wasn't like anybody could have seen that. That's not nothing crazy. It's just funny that they went through with it and they're reporting it as if it was a surprise. The book of Psalm 55:1 says, I will hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Yahweh, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me, that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my God and my acquaintance. right? In the midst of these streets, majority Edomite streets, majority Edomite countries, right? Whether it be America, whether it be Israel, all it is violence and strife throughout the street. Violence and conflict. What was going on in D.C.? They expecting more riots over there. More protests, so like in our riots. They patrol their walls for invaders, but the real danger is within the city, man. Those who run it. The book of Psalm 55 and 20, it says, He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. We can give verse 18. He had delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. The Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old. Salah. Because they have no chart, because they have no changes. So like, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not the Most High. And that's the fact, man. The wicked don't fear the Lord. Whenever they do things, they don't consider what could the Lord do to me, right? They just do it. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? They speak a good game, but they actions speak louder than their words. They say one thing, but then they do another. But that's been a common occurrence with these people, man. That's why it comes as no surprise. So like, just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump announced that Hamas had agreed to the terms of an apparent ceasefire agreement on Wednesday to end the ongoing war in Gaza, Israeli forces reportedly continued attacks against civilians in Gaza. Al Jazeera English reported smoke rising from apparent Israeli airstrikes on October 9th. It's unclear how these strikes would impact the potential ceasefire agreement, which will have all remaining Israeli hostages held by Hamas sometime next week, according to Trump. The president's statement suggested that the ceasefire was in place after both sides agreed to the proposal, but the timeline of the strikes is currently unclear. Hamas said it had agreed to a deal that would lead to the end of the war in Gaza, the withdrawal of Israeli troops, the entry of aid into Gaza, and the exchange of prisoners for hostages. But that's the thing, though. They don't want that shit. They never wanted peace. They like deleting these people, man. That's why they're known as the sons of wickedness, man. The son of perdition. Everywhere they go, any land they touch through our history is just been utter destruction, man. Utter destruction. If you can't see that, to lock it, I should be at Micah 2 and 4. It's okay though. They land about to get taken away themselves. Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. That's why they keep on calling them out about this genocide. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye do hardly, for this time is evil, right? The Lord is about to bring forth something upon these suckers. It's gonna be so great. The perfect slice of humble pie. And that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. So how has he reversed the roles, right, so to speak? And not necessarily putting these Palestinians in power, but taking away Esau Edom's power, taking their land and putting them at the very bottom where they originally was placed as the basis of men. It says, Hamas said it had agreed with many questions remain. The sides appear to be closer than they have been in several months to ending a war that has deleted tens of thousands of Palestinians, destroyed most of Gaza, and ignited other armed conflicts across Western Asia. And it's even more than what they're reporting, man. Trump opened a meeting with his cabinet at the White House on Thursday by speaking about the ceasefire deal and his plans to travel to Western Asia. So, like he said, it is a complicated process for the hostages to be released from Gaza, but it will happen on Monday or Tuesday. It is not immediately clear whether the parties had made any progress on thornier questions about the future of the conflict, including whether Hamas will demilitarize as Trump has demanded, and eventual governance of the war-torn territory, right? As America, America supports or backs Israel, and Hamas is backed by Iran. And Israel and Iran, they still having a conflict. They preparing to go to war, like all out. It is not immediately clear whether the parties have made any progress. So, like Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, on Thursday visited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Miloukowski's office, where they made a presentation on the plan to his cabinet on the merits of the deal, according to a senior U.S. official who was not authorized to speak publicly and spoke to reporters on condition of enmity. The 20-point plan that Trump released for Gaza was written by Witkoff and Kushner, according to the official. That's a bullshit deal. The Speaker of Israel's Knesset has formally invited Trump to address the country's elected assembly as a sign of gratitude for the Gaza ceasefire deal. Amir Ohana said it would be the first such address by an American president since then President George W. Bush visited Israel in 2008. The people of Israel agree you as the greatest friend and ally of the Ishq nation in modern history, he wrote in an invitation. Ohana also cited decisions taken during Trump's first term to move the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem, recognize Israel's annexation of the Golan Heights seized from Syria in the 1967 Mideast War, and is brokering of the Abraham Accords, in which four Arab countries forged ties with Israel. It's okay, man. These 48 fakers about to be up out of here soon, man. They done. It's good to get. The book of Exodus 17 and 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And when it And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and remember and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For it really will be Yahweh Shah. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. That's the Lord speaking. And Moses built an altar and called it the name of it Yahweh Nisi. For he said, because Yahweh hath sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. From generation to generation, right? So these people don't got much time left, man. The Lord's going to deal with them accordingly and deal to them righteous judgment. All right. With that being said, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. I'm going to close it off there. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kakodash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And until next time, I say Shalom Israel, Shalom. And as always, we're one day closer to the kingdom, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shalom.